Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Reality Revolution. What a beautiful, amazing day. I have Anjie Hipple and Kyle Boyd with us on a wonderful Saturday. Today, we're riding the light waves. That's what I called this episode because together we get to ride the light waves. If you have questions and answers, we just want to vibe and share what's going on. So, you guys all, of course, know Kyle and you know Anjie because I have interviewed her before, and I just wanted to bring them back on and have a great conversation. How you guys doing? Welcome to the Reality Revolution.
I'm great. I loved hanging out with you guys. I mean, so much better than watching stupid TV tonight, right? What better thing to do tonight?
The thing is, there's just such good TV, though. That's the thing. There's some good TV out there.
That's right. You're right.
There's so much good TV, so many good movies. What have you been? You haven't been really watching TV lately, Kyle, have you?
I've been moving, but now that I'm settled, you know how we've been doing all this future self-integration? I am walking in a vision I had in the past today. You know, like that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm kind of walking in my future self right now with the new house. I'm building out the new studio. These were all things I imagined, so it's really cool to just be a part of it, you know?
Very cool, man.
So,
yeah.
Good.
You're coming in pretty good, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
yeah. And Anjie, you're in the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. So how have you been doing?
Great. I mean, I'm living my dream life too, I think. I mean, I definitely have hard times and good times, and life keeps happening, but the work that I do, I absolutely love it, and it's an honor and a joy. And today we're relaxing some in the mountains and have the dog here and the motorcycle and just having a good time.
And how's Judah been lately?
Oh, Judah is, I feel, Judah's kind of taking off the filters a lot lately.
Wow.
Chuck, I had an event earlier today. I was like, I felt like Judah is a little bit mean with some of these people.
Yeah.
But it's not that. It's just my good girl Christian stuff doesn't, my old former self doesn't always vibe with this straight talk that Judah gives. So there's been a lot of straight talk that really kind of cuts through the crap and helps people. It gets them into the truth and reality. And that's been good. It's been, Judah's always available and on point. And I'm just always trying to integrate and stay in alignment and coherence with what they're doing.
Yeah. But so you can tell a sort of shift and change in how they address certain people, and is it an evolution, or what do you think's happening? You getting more comfortable with doing it?
Yeah, the more years that go by that I work with Judah, the more I'm integrated with them, and the lines get blurred between me and them, really blurred, and there's less and less of my personality involved, and just more and more of their clarity and purity in the moment. And, I'm less in the way, just letting that flow through. And Judah is very much the lion. They're sovereign, they're strong, they're clear, they're prophetic in a way, and they just kind of tend to cut through things. But there's so much love with it that it's reminds me of years ago. I had a spiritual father I called about something, and he said, he just said the truth. And later I hung up the phone and I felt so much better. And I thought, oh, I think he just kind of gave me a spanking, but boy, I feel better. This is what I needed to hear. So it's kind of like that, like sometimes Judah's kind of given a little bit of a spanking, but you feel better because you've heard the truth and it resonates and it helps you to move forward. And so you're thankful, even though it was a little disciplinarian, maybe.
Well, give me an example. I'd love to get an example of that.
Well, like I was working with the, Judah says yes to share this one, working with the gentleman who's had a beautiful run in the spiritual world, like you and I are in right now, and Kyle, and for years, decades, he was an honored and revered teacher, and it provided for him beautifully most of his life. And now there's no money coming in from it. It's just dried up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Judah said, let it die. Let it die. Let it go. Do something else. let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And Judah was just talking about, sometimes we get so attached to these works that we create in the world because they are beautiful and meaningful and purposeful, and they do help people, and we're so invested in them. And then a time and a season comes to let it die, and we can't do it. We're too attached, that attached in our crown chakra area, those attachments to things and people we love and works that we love. And sometimes we let them go.
I love that. Because we do need to hear that. A lot of times, even in a coaching session, I've had the temptation to say that thing, and I knew they weren't ready to hear it. And so I love that. And that is true. There's a lot of times there's things we hold on to because we spend so much time on it. You spend a bunch of time on something, it's just the paid cost of it. You feel like I got to keep doing this thing. And that's what a lot of people are facing now. They're kind of stuck in this sort of rut because they've been doing something for so long. They want. It's hard for them to let it go. And part of the shift we're going through is this letting go, right? What do you think, Kyle? Yeah,
I think I might be frozen, but I came back to hearing that Judah is giving out spankings, and I was a little.
You better go get us out of the yard.
What kind of party am I showing up for?
Right. No. What she's just the way that Judah has been more forthright and in saying some things. We were talking about the sort of evolution in Judah over time, and that's what is the most impressive. I know that Kyle is even more of this because he's really talked to a lot of channelers over the last few years, and I have as well. And the ones that resonate the most are the ones like Angie that have been doing it for so long. You've been doing it for so long. It's like the phone connection just gets really strong. Remember the old days when we had the landlines and it was just like we'd come through, but not quite. And it was kind of faint, right? I think that's what's going on is that the connection really gets strengthened over a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've had something that's happened to me. I know I'm lagging pretty bad here, but I've had something happen to me because I've been channeling so many people for so long, and I've been practicing heart coherence for so long that when I actually am listening to somebody channel and they're flowing from their heart and it's like coming from higher consciousness, I actually feel that energy and entity in my body, and it gives me chills, and it's almost like the presence of that. And then there's times where it's nothing, so that's kind of my gauge, but I try to keep my own opinion on that because I never know how something else could land positively for somebody else. But for me, that's kind of my gauge.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love that. Have you had the experience when you could hear the words that were coming through the channel's mouth as they were before they speak them? That's a really trippy thing I've had a couple times, right? Yeah.
I feel them, but not heard. But that's cool that
it's not a clairaudient, but it's like this knowing, right? Yeah. No, it's cool.
And there's actually a verse, I think it's in Isaiah about that says, before, it's God talking, and he says, she says, before you even call me, I've already answered you. It's a lot like that, right? When you channel and you step into the field of consciousness of these angelic beings or whoever the being is, the ascended master or whoever, you step into their field and you're already in it, like Kyle's experiencing it. You're in it, and you already hear the answer before you even formulate the question.
One phenomena I've been hearing lately, and I'm curious to see if either of you have heard this, but randomly I've heard about 5 to 7 people say this, which is a lot considering I've only probably worked with 50 to 100 people over the last month. But in meditation, people are starting to see faces show up in front of them. Really weird, faces right in their face looking at them, and they're not really sure what it is,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I've seen it. I've seen faces too.
I had been reading years ago. I was reading Lao Tzu for the first time. I was reading the Tao Te Ching, and Chuck and I were sitting down to channel one night and just doing the usual thing, and he said, "Whoa, I just saw the face of this Asian man right in," and he described what he saw. And I thought, wonder if that might be Lao Tzu, because I've really been into this reading, deep in it. But I think, Kyle, what you're picking up on, when people start swimming in a certain field of consciousness, they do see their face, they do feel, sometimes you can even smell them or hear them. And we do it with intention. We're all doing it all the time. And it's just becoming a more clear-cut path and an easier connection like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just figured out my lag. So we're officially live here, ready to party.
So from when you started, Anjie, have you noticed that there's just way more channelers coming to you? You're talking to the phenomenon of channeling has expanded exponentially, right? Am I frozen?
No, I can hear you. Kyle, did you want to answer that, honey?
Oh, I thought he was asking you. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. What I was saying was, how, Anjie, since you started channeling, have you noticed that the number of other channelers that you're meeting, because that's natural, you start meeting other channelers, has just expanded exponentially? There's so many more channelers than there was when you started.
And I love to help people channel. I mean, that's my major goal, is to put myself out of a job. I'd like for everybody to feel like they are intimately and consciously connected with their oversoul family, their Judah, whoever that is, and know how to connect in and talk with them. And it's a lot easier than people think. Usually the more of the task to teach it is to help them unlearn what they think channeling should look like or how it should be experienced. And if I can help them to let go of those ideas about how they think it should happen and go down, then usually they can connect right in. And I try to put up videos of that. So if anybody wants to explore, I've got some fun videos when I help somebody for the very first time ever to start channeling, because it's fascinating and it's so much more easy than people think it is.
Yeah. Have you both been noticing like an increase in energy at all? Because it's been pretty wild since, we've been doing these future self retreats, and we do them often every 2 months. So every 2 months, I'm literally sitting there for 3 days and imagining my future in depth. And I'm actually walking in that vision right now. And the other day I was at this field and the colors were brighter. I was tripping out. I was like, this is what they call the new earth, like this is it. And I didn't know though if there was some sort of portal going on, some sort of vortex, if the energy on the earth is just higher. That's what we always hear. The energy's higher, but I don't want to jinx it, but something's definitely been happening in my life that I haven't experienced before.
It's like when we first saw HD, like for the first time, when, back when we had the old TVs, right, that came through. It's like reality has this like clarity to it that's different. I get what you're saying. The colors are more vibrant. You notice smaller details. It's like time has slowed down. There's this magic quality to the moments that we're in. The light shines differently. It bounces differently. There's lens flares in my normal. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the phenomenon of consciousness and what we're experiencing in our consciousness has definitely changed. For a number of people, I've noticed that.
Yeah, I also just want to say, for anybody out there that's not feeling that, a few months ago I went through crazy struggle, so I don't want you to feel like if you're in that stage that that's not normal, because you're going through exactly what you need.
You can have the struggle at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
A lot of times it helps you pull you out of the struggle. In the middle of that struggle, when you take a moment and you find yourself just seeing how beautiful the flowers are, just noticing the amazing quality of the mountains in the horizon, a bird that lands next to you, and suddenly all that stuff doesn't seem to matter. It's much easier, because it's so vivid and powerful. It's much easier to sort of to move back out of that struggle into alignment where you're at. That's what I've found, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, one of the interesting things is that the universe is really like teaching me that I have to sharpen my sword in regards to like what I'm trying to manifest, because I'll like focus on certain things that like I'll really want to have in my life that can help other people, and I'll put all my energy in that. But then the other areas that I didn't really focus on just aren't really doing that well. So I have to like also imagine good things for those. But then it's like actually getting into the detail a little bit further. One of the things that was funny was I was at the last retreat, and pretty much everything in regards to my business is starting to unfold well in regards to the Heart Coherence Collaborative. We have people, guiding Heart Coherence on my YouTube channel every day, which was my dream. We have people within my community guiding heart coherence every day. People are training other people. It's pretty beautiful. So I was sitting there and I was like, what do I want to imagine this time, you know? And I was like, for some reason, I got this thing that said brand deals. And I've never thought about brand deals. I didn't even know really what a brand deal was. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do brand deals. So we're at our last retreat, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah, brand deals. I'm just like, I'm not thinking about what the brand deals are, but I'm just feeling how good it feels to be sponsored and just like, oh yeah, whatever. So I get out of the retreat, out of the meditation. The second I get out of the meditation, Markel, who's our sound guy, comes up to me and he goes, Kyle, you ever thought about brand deals? And I was like, and he goes, dude, I got some great brand deals for you, man. And I'm like, really? Who? And he's like, Viagra, Blue Chew, Kalshi. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to put those on my YouTube channel, bro. So it was kind of like the universe saying, like, you got to really know what you want. You know, you got to really dial it in. It was so fascinating.
Kyle, I think the future self is part of the answer to that, because once you enter the future self, you don't need to imagine anymore. There's no need for you to feel like, oh, I didn't imagine for this, or I didn't address this, because it's a sort of stream where everything works out perfectly for you all the time. And you don't even, it's just happening to you. You don't have to imagine anymore. It's almost the end of imagination. It's sort of the surprise of it is so wonderful. There's no need to imagine, right? That's what is so exciting about it, right? You're in this thing, everything's working out. You're riding a wave and it's taking you in all those places to where you want to go. Right. That's at least been my experience. That's why I'm so excited about it. Right. Has Judah spoken about the future self or accessing versions of ourselves outside of our regular time stream?
Judah's been teaching me how to collapse timelines. I set the intention to be 100% coherent with the highest and fullest version of the monad Judah with 100% coherence. No fallback on memory, no fallback on experience, no fallback on the past, right? Just coherent in the moment, thoughts, words, intent, thought to form. Think it is manifest, think it manifests. But developing this discipline of setting the intention before everything, every move I make and every thing that I'm doing, and to be in this state of 100% coherence. And that is, Judah says you can step into your 1000 on the Hawkins scale. Yes, like that, that fast. You just say, I set the intention that I'm here 1000 or above on the Hawkins scale in 100% coherence with the monad Judah. And then you just proceed from there, and you are that. But there's no mind trick to it. You just do it. That's it. And you just don't think. You don't think about the rest. And you don't operate out of memory or what you know. And you don't operate out of what you tomorrow or yesterday. You're just God in the moment, God in the body, manifesting. Instant manifestation, thought to form.
Wow.
But just Gary Zukav is going to be coming up soon for Kyle for your event, like one of my heroes, right? And he teaches this. Intention is everything. Everything is being manifested with intention. And it's just a matter of disciplining ourselves to speak and set the intention.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. He's coming on.
Intention is so much better than setting a goal. Intention is, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. That's the meaning behind. I've always loved that shift towards intention that sort of happened. For me, that changed everything, because people have dreams and wishes. It's just not the same as an intention, right?
Yeah, and our mind just constantly thrives on conflict, problems, drama, needing to be right, needing and wanting attention, conflicts, problems, drama, and it just is always going to do that. It always has something that needs to be fixed about the past, or something that needs to be figured out to protect the future, but none of that really is necessary. I'm God in the moment. I'm God in a body. I'm coherent with my oversoul family, and decide, what do I want right now? And I just live into it. And I don't do anything that feels incongruent for me at all. Nothing. No matter how much people want me to do it or expect me to do it.
I would love to hear what both your intentions are right now. Like, what is your biggest intentions in life? Because I just posted this on my YouTube channel that for me, the intention that saved my life was, there was a point in my life where I was really struggling, and I had a best friend that I thought was going to die. And because we were kind of going through some trouble in life, and I told his family to say goodbye to him. But one day I saw him at a sports game, and he was actually just like glowing. And I asked him, like, what happened to him? And he said he started hanging out with some guys, and they taught him this prayer to just please put other people in my life that I can help. And that prayer alone has just changed my whole consciousness. And I think that external focus on serving others is really powerful. I know, Brian, I always love when you talk about the law of one in this regards. I haven't been able to convey that to my friends yet. Like, hey, there's this lady that was, she was out cold, and they were channeling this message, and then put a lot more.
Well, I think it goes beyond the law of one. What's fascinating when you look at 100 amazing channeled entities, a common element with the ones that really resonate with me is this incredible desire and understanding for service being the ultimate form of prayer, and being in many of those entities, that's their whole existence. How can I serve? And it feels like they're desperate to serve, like water in the desert. Like when you get the feeling that they feel like they have this sudden opportunity to serve, they just get so excited. And so that we don't understand the element of that, the way that service works, because I think inevitably down the road, millions, billions of years, it's this, we service becomes this drug that we're addicted to, that we love so much that it becomes very, very selfish for us to serve others, right? And I feel that many of us have that deeply embedded in our soul's architecture, and you can see people struggling because they don't feel like they can serve. They're not serving. There's this empty, vast sort of black hole for people because they feel like this desperate need to serve, because they have a memory of that being in the desert, hoping to serve, coming here to serve, and then they don't feel like they have that opportunity. I talk to a lot of people, is that they're coming to an understanding of service. I'm sure that Anjie can also say that, as you as well, Kyle.
Oh, Anjie with me? Yeah.
I there's so many days, there's stuff going on with me, and in my personal life, crazy stuff. And I have a 1 o'clock with somebody on the Judah channel, and I log on and I just step into their field, just loving on them and serving them. And I forget my worries and troubles, and I get off the call and I feel back to center, and it's so good. Service can distract us from our own, stories and dramas. Just, it's so beautiful, and it reminds us of the human condition, and whoever I'm working with, they're me, I am them. I'm just mirroring. They're teaching me something. I'm learning something from them. It's a mutual exchange, and it's Judah says It's like a threefold cord, right? If you go to the store and you buy a rope, and you want that rope to be strong, to be able to throw that rope over a cliff and pull somebody up, it's made of 3 strands, right? And so you and I and Kyle, the 3 of us together, it makes a strong cord that will hold weight, that can pull someone up off of a cliff. And so, connecting with our angels, getting connected with someone else, getting in the middle of their thing, whatever it is, and loving them through it. I mean, in everything that we're going through is a cry for that water in the desert. What is that? The water in the desert we need? It's love, right? That's what's behind every question people ask me. That's what's behind it. Am I loved? Am I okay? Is it okay that I'm experiencing this? And the answer is always yes. Yes, you are loved. Yes, it's okay that you're going through this, and you're okay. And you are, and everybody's doing the best with what they've got to deal with. But we throw that rope over, that strong threefold braided cord, or with whoever that we're working with, the more we collaborate, and love and embrace each other's wisdom and help, the stronger the rope is, and the more weight it will hold.
So true.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things too that I've found really profound in addition to service work is just community. You know, having these retreats with Brian and just like our own communities that we've built, you know, just actually having somebody you can share stuff with, you know, like it really is so powerful. We get on there and share our dreams, our struggles, our everything. And something about, you know, that old thing they say is when you share a problem, it gets chopped in half or whatever. There's something actually to that, you know.
Yeah.
And when you share your dreams, like Brian says, share them with people that will actually support them, and it will add to the manifestation power. But just the power, there's something happening in regards to community. I feel like community in the spiritual world is growing faster than ever.
Yeah.
It's growing exponentially. And then communities are starting to come together and form bigger communities. And before we know it, it's just going to be a massive festival where Brian Scott's on stage singing and Angie.
Well, I think we've gone back. We're coming back from a low point. Like we lost a lot of community over the last 10 years. There's been a loneliness and a separation between everybody that seems, I mean, who cares or knows, like it was orchestrated, and we're finding our way back to these communities. If you look back before the internet and before, you know, hundreds of years ago, people formed communities even better. So it's like we need to return to that. We need to come back to where we can hang out together. I mean, remember, Kyle, people used to go to the bars and just hang out. Do you remember that? People don't do that anymore. People used to go to the bars and just hang out with each other. And this is now a thing that people are surprised about. Like people don't go to places to hang out. You'd watch Friends, and people are all fascinated by watching Friends because they show up at the coffee shop and they're like talking to each other. And people think this is like a shocking thing. Like, look, they're actually hanging out and talking to each other. And it's like, that's how it should be. It's not like, it's like this thing we have to do. It's like, that's how it should always have been. And this thing has invisibly separated us. We need to come back together. We need to join in communities and just enjoy it. Right? I feel like that. I feel like a big thing that I see in those events is it really feels like people are starting to connect again and remember, because in most people's lifetimes, we had more community than we do now. Right. So it's like they forgot. It's like they forgot about that connection. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like 1 in 4 people in America right now are estranged from their family. So people are
from their families.
Disconnected from their family. So they're even more in need of a family of intention, an intentional family, intentional spiritual community. And yeah, I mean, so many times I'm working with someone and I hear this, what you're saying, Brian, all the time, that people are lonely, isolated, and disconnected. And many times the one Judah say, because they come, they're like, what am I missing? Judah, what's the key that I'm missing? Why am I still floundering? And many times it is just the need for a human contact, one-on-one, skin to skin, hugs, those, you know, that breaking bread together, is laying around eating. I mean, one of the things I love the most about this work for me personally, like hanging out with you guys, or I just did a retreat with Julie Riesler, and you know, we hung out for several days like we were like teenagers having the sleepover, sharing our stories and our experiences behind the scene in the space. And we all need that. And it's really tough if you haven't plugged in that way to be going through all the expansion that the spiritual process requires, and the dark nights and the highs and the lows and all of that. If there's no one, you know, connected with you that loves you and knows you intimately, knows your story, knows your progress, he could give you a kick in the pants if you need it too, you know?
Yeah. And we need to hug more. We do. You're right. Because when I'm at the events, I'm a big hugger, right? So I notice, I get the vibe that a lot of those people haven't had a hug in like a long time. You can feel the resistance with just a basic hug, right? Like people are afraid to hug now.
Those are people in the spiritual community, you know.
In the spiritual community, right?
I grew up in a neighborhood where everybody loved everybody. You know, we'd play and the parents would hang out. And so I have lived in the countryside since that I was a child. And so I just moved into a neighborhood for the first time. And you know, I move in and I see the neighbor across the street and I'm like waving and they're just heads down, you know. Cars go by, I'm like, hey, you know. And so I've had to like go up to people and be like, hey, how are you? You know, and I'm slowly trying to break down the thing, but it's a little different. It takes a little work. One of the things that I've done that I've actually found has worked is kind of like talking to Brian about like just tipping people extra. When I go to like stores, whenever there's an opportunity to tip, I'm giving like a crazy tip, right? Like 50%, something crazy. But I do it everywhere I go. And then every time I go back into that place and that person's working, it is a great energy. They're like loving to see me. And so then when I go there to work and I'm sitting there, it's like a little bubbly, light environment. So it's like just, you know, sprinkling dust everywhere.
Exactly. Use your money to make friends, right? Yeah, that's it's just an easy way to love someone, right? Because the word love is kind of worn out a lot of times, but Judah said use the word value, right? So when you give them that big tip, you're just saying, I see you and I value you and I value your service to me, and it's a way of loving them and they receive it in that way.
Yeah. Next time you go through a drive-through, brother.
Yeah.
I've been doing this. I love it. Just pay for the person behind you.
Oh man.
Just pay for the person behind you. And what I love about it is I don't know what gets to happen. It's sort of there and it's like the mystery of it. And it's like, yeah, just cover them and I'm out. And so when you just do it, you'll get a huge burst of joy from it, man.
Another good one is like a Mountain Dew to a crackhead or like a homeless guy. There's this guy that pumps gas in my town, and I just know he's just doing crack, you know, so I'm not going to give him money. But give him Mountain Dew, and it's like you can tell it's the happiest he's ever been. It's like the most anybody's ever cared for him. And every time I pull up, he sees me coming, and he's like, oh, I'm going to get a Mountain Dew, you know? And it just brings me so much joy. It really I get so much more out of it. You know, he gets a little buzz, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Does Judah want to talk to us more in further detail? All right. Well, we would love to talk to Judah.
Yes, dear ones, we love this conversation because you are all one. Yes, the crackhead has aspects of you, and you have and you have aspects of him. There is a guru brewing inside of that crackhead. So everyone, everywhere you go, is your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your uncle, your neighbor. Everyone is your neighbor. And the more you break down these barriers, the more love and high consciousness will rule. And we have been on a hobby horse. We've been on a soapbox about not separating yourself from others because they are a low vibe. Yes, we are quite tired of this spiritual new age snobbery. Just love people, just love people, just love people, just love people. And if you are with a lower vibrational person in a lower frequency, stay with them as long as you can. And when their distortion starts to enter your field, their pain, their suffering, their anger, whatever, just simply stand up in your God self with that, be with them in that. And if the distortion starts to get in your field and knock you off of your center, then it's okay. You can withdraw, but at least you've been there to love them for 30 seconds, for a minute, for an hour, for a day. Yes. And so know this about yourself. How long can I be with a very low frequency person in a place of high consciousness and love? How long can I be present with them and love them and stay with them as long as you can? Maybe it's a minute, maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's a day. When it starts knocking you off your center, then you can simply retreat and then go and refill and refresh and restore and recenter yourself. You see, turtles know how to do this, do they not? They have a shell. They can poke their head out of the shell and move forward, move forward, move forward. And then if they need to, they can withdraw back into the shell. So it's very simple. We're really, yes, we're here on a soapbox about this harsh cutting off and excommunication of people that are low vibe or whatever. We want you to just love people, because everybody that you love, when you're loving them, you're loving yourself. And the degree to which you resist loving any person is the degree to which you are resisting loving yourself and loving what is. And to truly live from the heart chakra is to love life as it is, love others as they are, love yourself as you are, love yourself where you are right now, whether that's in sadness or despair, or whether you're flying high. And this is the secret to get out of those dark nights of the soul. Are you listening? The secret is to love yourself all the way through it. If you're laying in the bed and feeling sad and sorry for yourself and having a pity party and crying, well, just love yourself. Love the part of you that is doing this. And when you fully love and accept this part of yourself, you will find it coming to an end. You will find this aspect of yourself relaxing and integrating back into your higher self. So love your highs and your lows. Have you ever heard a beautiful song? You've heard songs that are only high notes, but you know what those songs are that are only high notes? They're lullabies for babies. And we are not here raising babies anymore. We want you to come into maturity, you see. And so a beautiful song has both high notes and low notes and all the notes in between. And the more a breadth of dynamic of the notes, the low and the high, are in the song, the more beautiful the song is. So embrace your low notes. They make the song of your life so much more beautiful. Love the low notes as much as you love the high ones, and give yourself the grace to flow in and out of highs and lows. In fact, just acknowledge that it's a part of the human experience. And dear Kyle, you are having such beautiful highs now because of your intention to love yourself through the lows. And isn't it wonderful? And yes, share your highs. They are the reward for the work that you've done to release the weight in your field, to release the karma, to release the suffering and burdens. We're here shouting this year about the end of suffering. We do not believe that you have to suffer. And we want everyone to embrace this idea that you can create an end to suffering for yourself and for others. Yes, suffering is not necessary. There's so much joy coming, dear ones. For every tear that you shed, there is a laugh that is coming. Be assured of this. Be assured of this, that laughter and joy is the reward for releasing. Yeah, good.
Anjie, I have a question for Judah or yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What is your thoughts on, I've heard different philosophies on this, but there's so much trauma that people have experienced both in this lifetime and in past lifetimes. Mm-hmm. Do we need to go and live through that to have it leave us? Or is the power of future or present love and imagination enough to neural networks?
Well, we want you to know that you have the power right now in this moment to move from this moment of coherence through your past, parallel, present and future realities to clear anything that is unwanted. You can do this for yourself simply through intention. You can simultaneously touch the past, parallel, present, and future all in once through intention. Yes, for example, when you set the intention, you give that tip to that one in the restaurant, and you set the intention, this tip, this money, I intend that this will break poverty over this beautiful soul's life forever, in every realm of time and space, for all of their past incarnations, all their parallel lives, this present reality and their future. May this money be the sign, the symbol, the ensign, the impetus, the lever to release this beautiful soul from every experience of poverty. Yes? So you can dig around and excavate from your past if you'd like, but it's not necessary. You can rewrite the past right now through your intention. You can think of it as Medusa's head with all the snakes. Yes? It's all the same. It's all the same monster. It's all fear, lack, and limitation. So you can snip off one snake at a time if you'd like. It might take you a while, or you can simply lop off the head of fear, lack, and limitation through intention, because you are God. You are God in a body. Quit looking outside of yourself for someone to save you. You are the savior of yourself and your own experience. And many of you say, no, Angie has to do it. Judah has to do it. Kyle has to, someone else has to do it. Well, okay, if you need to watch them for a little while to learn, but only watch them to know, not because they are special or different, but to learn what you can do. This is called vicarious learning. This vessel had 3 children. Her older ones did stupid things. The youngest watched them do stupid things, and she said, I'm not going to do those stupid things because I see how they made my brother and sister suffer. I'm going to do something different. You see, and you can all learn vicariously from any being such as ourselves or any other teacher that you admire or honor or respect. Just watch them and do what you see them doing that works, and don't do what doesn't work. It's very simple. Wisdom is not complicated at all. If it works, do it. If it doesn't, don't.
Angie, Judah is bringing that good fire.
Angie, I know that you were also an elementary school teacher. I'm wondering if Judah, now that you've had some time with Judah, because my mom was a 4th grade teacher, if you could reflect on how we should change the way we teach our kids with what you know.
Yes. Well, we think it's really too sad that adults are teaching children, but adults can create safe containers or environments in which a child can play, explore, create, play, explore, create, play, explore, create, play, explore, create. Yes, and so the job of the parent, the awakened one, is to simply create an environment in which the child is allowed to be who and what they are with as little intervention, meddling, manipulating, or monitoring as possible. Really, what is needed is for the adults to create a physically safe environment, an emotionally, mentally safe environment, meaning the child is not shamed or punished, but they are given direction as needed to keep them safe and to point them towards their own inner being. But children need to be empowered by adults, not told how to live. For this is a big part of the problem, is adults telling children how to live. When the dear Osho was a child, he was raised by his grandparents, and his grandparents allowed almost zero conversation in the house. The only conversation allowed in the house was the bare minimum that was required to run the house, keep the. So this child was not allowed, did not go to any type of religious or spiritual services or teachers or communes or any such thing. Even though his grandparents and parents had a spiritual practice, they never indoctrinated Osho to this practice. He was simply given access to books, to the teachings of the masters, and he was allowed to formulate his own ideas about life. And so this is all that is necessary. Create a safe and energetically safe environment, a physically safe environment with proper tools and play, and allow children to find their own way. Children can and will make their own way. They can and will design their own unique and personalized path to full liberation and enlightenment if parents and others, leaders, stay out of their way and allow it. This this calls for an enormous amount of trust on behalf of the parent, trust in life, trust in the soul of the child, which many times is wiser than the soul of the parent. And parents, we encourage you to recognize and notice the level of consciousness of each child can be dramatically different, and also their karmic package. And so each child must be treated uh, in a unique way. Some of you may have one child that is very near to full enlightenment, and another child that is a very new being that operates in a much lower level of consciousness. And so that child needs more structure and more instruction, and the other that is more enlightened needs you to be very hands off. Yes.
Yes. Anjie, I know that Judah has spoken about solar flares and consciousness waves coming. And is that still happening? Is the idea that we're about to face the changes in consciousness from solar flares?
The sun is a life, a pure life force energy for all of you. It is restorative. It is the charge that you need. Spend time in the sun. Don't be afraid of the sun. Don't buy into beliefs that the sun will damage you in some way. Enjoy natural light sources as much as possible. And the evolution of the sun is precipitating the evolution of humanity. And it is a treasure for each and all of you. And this, we would say, is a very simple change that most of you need to make to be outside in the sun more often. Maybe you need to, yes, take your laptops outside and do as much as work from outside as you are allowed to do within the confines of your current environment.
Anjie, I have one more question. So starting August, or Judah, August 28th, Anjie, Brian, and a bunch of amazing people are coming together to do heart coherence every day for 21 days. There's going to be thousands of people doing this. I'm wondering if that can really make an effect on the entire, ecosystem of Earth. Like, what effect can that have from a large scale, or is it only individualized?
Of course, it can change everything. It can change everything for everyone. Never, think as big as you want, my dear, because there is no limit. And so cast a huge, wide net and you will have a windfall. Yes, go ahead and plan for a windfall of high consciousness and awakening. Yes, plan for that. As a matter of fact, just look, millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people who have already been touched by each of the ones that you have invited. If you calculated each soul that has been touched by all of the leaders that you have invited, this would be beyond 10, 20, 30 million people. And so now let all these leaders come together and reawaken those 30 million people so that those 30 million can awaken more. Because we are still casting the same vision that there will be a day when every person on the planet, every single human being, is what you now consider or think of as an enlightened being. And so then being enlightened will no longer be the bar to reach for, but it will be the floor, not the ceiling. The floor, not the ceiling. And what is after that, when all of humanity, what is after that is extraordinary. It's a wild and beautiful adventure still to be imagined. Yes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Judah. Wow, unbelievable. I keep getting more and more blown away every time Judah comes through. It's truly amazing. And one thing I want to give Cody a shout out in the comments. He came up with a very profound statement. He said, "Everyone is a gangster until the tickle monster comes."
Yes, I saw that. That's classic. Very true.
That was good.
Very true. So does Judah have advice for what we can do over the next couple of months to make a big difference so we can help align the planet to a higher vibration?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we're doing in the Judah family community, and we invite anybody that wants to join us, is every Sunday this month, we're going to observe silence. And this is not like a legalistic, rule-bound kind of thing, where you're, cracking the whip on yourself to be quiet. It's just something we're doing out of joy and curiosity. And what I've been finding, even just we've done it 2 weeks now because there's 5 Sundays in August. I drop into this state of bliss, and it's extraordinary. Wow. And also, Judah says, yes, observing silence. None of you realizes how much energy you are losing through talk. And there is a time for talk that is high vibrational, that is uplifting, such as this conversation, that is actually creating waves of energy. But a lot of talk that goes on is wasted energy. Wasting energy trying to justify, argue, defend, or explain one's actions or what's going on in the world, and so on. And so when you have moments of silence, and even hours or days of silence, you will accumulate energy within you, and become as that sun, that grand central sun that is beaming with this energy. Lots of energy lost through unnecessary talk. Is there anything else, Judah? Yes, and breath coherence, meditation, the heart coherence practice. Yes. Continuing that. Breathe. Judah says, anybody that hears this call right now, if you will do conscious breathing and heart coherence for 30 minutes a day, from now until the end of this event, that will exponentially increase the impact of the event.
Does Judah have recommendations or suggestions on how best to meditate? Has Judah ever taught the art of meditating?
Well, we will give you a broad picture of meditation at this time. There are many guided meditations from persons such as this vessel and those of you here, and they are beautiful and can be very advantageous to help friends who still have aspects of the mind that tend to hijack their meditation efforts. And so make use of those if you need them. And then for others of you who are maturing more, we would say simply drop deep into quiet and stillness and thoughtless meditation. And never underestimate the power of this. Yes? Yeah, and the other thing that Judah's been talking, we lost Kyle there, didn't we? But he'll be back.
I'm sure. He might come back,
yeah. The other thing Judah's been encouraging people is just every minute of meditation matters. Sometimes people get hung up on this, well, I need 30 minutes, I need an hour, I need total silence, and so because of these ideas, they won't just nab those moments that you can. Take a minute in the car before you get out to go in the house after work in the evening, or a minute in the car before you drive out of the driveway in the morning to go to work, or a minute in the bathroom, or at your lunch break at work. Take whatever you can get. It all matters. Every moment of stillness and breath and heart coherence is retraining us to be in alignment and coherence with our higher self. So every moment matters, and don't underestimate that.
Have you ever asked Judah if they have a favorite song or movie?
Ooh, let me ask. I'm sure they do. Interesting. Judah said the movie Pride is one of their favorites.
Pride.
It's
I actually know that movie.
I think it's about, if I remember right, it's about a young boy in India who was lost and went on a journey to find his parents. Does that sound right?
Maybe. I know that movie. I know what movie you're talking about, where the boy like gets on the wrong train and he gets lost, and he
Mm-hmm.
wakes up and he's across the, and that is a truly amazing movie.
This is yes, that's their favorite. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Their favorite.
I love that. So, yeah, sometimes I'll get the answer that, oh, it doesn't matter, or we don't focus on that thing. But I mean, you know what I mean. I like to ask that question. So
It's a great one. I love
it. And do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite movie or song, Angie, for you?
Well, I don't know. Your folks may not know this, but we make music at the Judah channel because
I remember we talked about that the first time we talked, and everybody should check out our original interview to learn way more about Angie. So yeah, but
so,
I'm sure it's hard to pick a favorite song when you have all those songs, right?
well, one of my favorites lately has been "Freedom" by Pharrell Williams, who also wrote the song "Happy," 'cause I'm happy. You know that one? It's a song.
Right.
Really like that song. And I'm also really loving Saint Finnegan or Finnick. Yeah, amazing. He has a song called Surrender that I love. Hey, welcome back, Kyle.
You made it back. Still getting it figured out, getting that perfect studio figured out. There we go. Yeah.
Not the perfect studio right now. But Finnegan's the man. Yeah, I love that guy. Super cool.
Yeah.
All right, I got to check it out. I don't know. I got to know the Finnegan. So
Trevor Hall's up there too. #1, top dog, top G. Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor Hall. Oh, and we also have a playlist. So we have a new app called True University, and it's free. YOU University, True University.
That's at thejunachannel.com, right?
Yeah. And or you can download it on Apple or Google Play or whatever. But inside of that, we have a music list of hundreds and hundreds of really high vibe songs. So if you're looking for new music,
nice.
Great place to find it.
It's great.
Yeah, we're always doing music.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like Judah has come through to make a song with you when you're making your music?
Yeah, all the time. Should we sing a little?
Time?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
We're always down.
All right, let's see. Uriata giborera moriati asine eteke. Uleviti una hey. Benetio roti che ne pia sende andaye. Umbereviete che una de hio vorronta vario to cambasete. Shivolora toyana. Ivololi ala hiela sikele. Shuvelele yala la yeki se deviatana shiotom. Kumbaravatiana hisherete. Umbaradiana rideresi. Uveretia rararakin. Shavarariotom paseti. Rote kahide hishende yo marereti. Yeah, it's good to sing, man. We just all need to sing more. That gets us out of our left brain and bypasses our mind stuff. And yeah,
I love how Judah brings up these bubbles of laughter.
I know.
Yeah. So I'll tell you something cool that happened, and if your friends want it, I'll try to send over the image of it. Recently I was doing a light language thing like that and a teaching, and my team, runs it through the transcript maker, the AI transcript. Right. And at the end, our team noticed there's a bunch of Hindi text in there. What is that? This Sanskrit text. So they nabbed it and put it through the Google Translate. And guess what? It was a verse from the Upanishads. And it was talking about God is the infinite, the all, the indistinguishable. And so, when I'm doing this kind of singing, like what I was just doing, it just feels like me being silly and childish and happy and playful. It doesn't really feel like, whatever. But that's what was buried in that light language transmission, was this ancient proclamation about who the all is from the Upanishads and in Hindi. Wow. And I've never sung Hindi before, or if I have, I'm not aware of it. And I've never read the Upanishads. So, it was a little learning reminder, teaching moment for me to remember, just be playful gauge the heart stuff and the singing and the dancing and the hugging, and you never know really what might be going on with it, what it's accomplishing.
Yes, so true. Just to follow that joy, been thinking a lot about that. And one of the things I was thinking about is just what did I love doing as a child? And it was sports. Like, I love being an athlete and getting pushed by like other strong kids and like really just like, trying to become the best, healthiest version of myself. But sports, like, I was really good at sports. So at a point, it crossed over into like seriousness, where it's like college are looking at you. You have to like be good. And I just hated it. I like started hating it. And so lately I've been going back to just like hang out and play like sports with my boys. Also, I go to CrossFit. And the first day I went in there, everyone was swinging around like monkeys. And I was like, what?
On CrossFit, yeah.
Yeah. And on the board, they were like, the exercise for the day was like, do 100 pull-ups. I was like, I could do like 5. But like, just to see all these people swinging around, it got me so excited. And then I'm swinging around, and now I'm like practicing swinging around from trees. And I'm just like, my boys now are running around, like we're acting like animals. And I just feel so alive. It just feels great.
What's your vibe on the kip pull-ups? Did you because I when I did CrossFit, that it was it's a full body. You can feel your whole body activate when you do it, right?
I like they had me do the baby ones first, so I'm
okay.
But yeah, I'm excited to be doing kip this week. I'll let you know.
You're okay, all right.
Kip is you gotta like swing and then
you swing, yeah. So you can do more because you can use the leverage of your swing, but it's similar to doing a deadlift too. When you follow the whole process, it's actually kind of similar. You're just different point of emphasis, but
it's very humbling too. You walk around like all like I just walk around all the time, just like swagging, and then you go in there and there's like girls that are doing like 100 times more pull-ups and 100 times more. And it's like, oh, okay.
But I think you're onto something when we look back at what we really loved when we were kids. There's a secret key to that. It unlocks something about our purpose, because that's when we were at our most natural. And so for me, I was always imagining stuff. I was just imagining these crazy worlds, and people would say his imagination is a little too crazy, or they bring me to this preschool teacher and say he's imagining too much. There's something going on. He seems crazy, and I would just be talking about these weird things, right? So, at what point did somebody say that? Did they stop you? A lot of times that's what happens. You start expanding into your imagination. Kids are so playful, playing out in the sandbox, getting ideas, and then people say that's too much, or it's not right. How often do we see that? It's so subtle.
I was playing basketball, baseball, soccer, football, and they were like, you have to focus on one. You're really good at basketball. You can only play basketball. So I just played basketball, and then I'm sitting there depressed to see everybody playing soccer and football and baseball, just like so. But now
No, I say play all the sports. It makes you better at one. Play them all at the same time. Absolutely. Look at Kobe. He was great at soccer, right?
How is that bringing you joy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Are you going to be a helicopter parent and getting your kids in certain sports, living vicariously through them, like so many of my friends ended up becoming?
Man, they make their own plays, but because I was doing the swing like the monkeys, they wanted to do it too.
Right.
So
if you could choose, what sport are they going to be in?
Well, my son loves soccer and my other son loves baseball. And so
are there going to be giants like you, like 7-footers?
I was a basketball guy, so all my buddies are like, "Oh, you get them into basketball?" And I'm just like, "No, they're playing baseball and soccer and whatever they want to do, So we'll see.
They're going to be giants like you think?
Oh, they're already giants. My son's 6. He plays with the 8-year-olds, and
man,
and he's bigger than all of them, which is crazy.
You're 6'7", right?
6'6".
6'6".
No one knows that from the screen,
You can play swing, right? I got you.
For sure.
But so
How about you? Did either of you get told at a specific age to shut it down?
That's what happened to me. I was writing stories and imagining other worlds. And it maybe had partially been influenced by me watching cartoons and just being but it was too much. And people question you, like, is something wrong with him? Right. And so at that point, I shut down my imagination a little bit to try to be more in line. I didn't want to be looked at as weird or unusual. And so part of my imagination died out from that, just exploring stories. And then later, I had this creeping desire to be a writer or something to create. And it was just that little child back then saying, I still have ideas for you. You got to explore this. And so for me to really come to an alignment with my purpose, what I was doing, I had to go back to that child, that inner child that said, just go have fun and imagine and create, right? So that was a big wake up call when I went back to that version of me and awoken, and I'm suddenly painting and I'm doing stuff because the joy of creation is what we lose, that we have so beautifully when we're kids, right?
It's so true. You know, I remember actually talking to Judah and Angie about this last time that I interviewed Angie and Judah. But when I was young, I would see things and people would tell me that I was crazy. You know, my family, like a normal family has a kid that's saying there's something in the closet is probably going to be like, you know, just no, there's not, you know. But I started to start thinking I was crazy. And then in school, like I couldn't sit still. And so people started telling me, you know, like I was going to private school with like, you need to sit in this chair and focus the whole time. And my body's just like wanting to run around. And so then they started telling me there was something wrong with my brain. And so then I had ADD, like, you know, all these things were labeled to me. And only through your events recently, Brian, have I because what happened, it was actually crazy. My memory started shutting down because how bad I was talking about my own brain. And so at our events recently, you know, we go into these things of the future self, and it's like, future self, my memory is great. And so now, like when I'm not remembering things, like normally I would be like, oh, my memory's so bad. But now I just go right into doing memory exercises. And I think that's part of why I'm starting to see all these colors and stuff. But it is crazy, like the way we shut ourselves down. And like I had beaten myself up pretty bad because of all the things that everyone told me, and none of it was true, you know?
Well, let's talk about memory. Let's go deep, because I could dedicate like a 3-hour episode on memory, because is that everything? So when we choose to forget, is that death? Even though we're still a being, the same being, once we forget, that feels that the loss of that memory is so huge. It's such a sacrifice. I am my memory. That's who I am. I am my memory. For me to let go of those other memories, it's hard, but also debilitating. If I have all my memories at my fingertips, it's really hard to function in consciousness. We have to forget. So what is it? You know, is there a way? I ultimately want to be conscious billions of years from now with my memory. I want all of it. I don't want to lose any of it. I feel like it's the ultimate loss is my memory. So where does, at what point, how much memory can we have? What is it like to be those higher consciousness beings that have the memory, the instantly available at all times? Or is this better? Or is that why they come here? Because it's so much more enjoyable to relieve yourself of all that memory, right? I don't know. What do you think?
You want to answer that, Kyle?
Well, it just made me think of, I heard that from, you know, Daryl Anker, we interview him, and he said that the ETs, or in the future, because we're like, and I've actually seen this recently in regards to AI developments, that they're figuring out how to create something that moves faster than the speed of light, and technology within that. But basically what that could produce is a holographic record of everything that's ever happened in any time, in the form of a movie that gets played on the screen. And it's like, do we want that?
Right.
Yeah, like,
are we ready for that? You know, do we want it?
My understanding, Judah wants me to share. My understanding of it is that this is what our consciousness is. So Angie's field of consciousness, inside of that, what is it exactly? It's every single thought, feeling, impression, emotion, experience, taste, smell that I've ever had in every lifetime, in every context, whether it was in another planetary system or as a human. All of that is stored in my field of consciousness. Same for you, Brian, and Kyle, for each of us. That's what our field of consciousness is. It's every impression that we've ever had. And so our unconscious mind is the gateway to this larger superconscious aspect of us, in which everything is stored in there. And what is memory? Well, memory is really learning, right? Like when you were born and you lay in your mother's arms, You were a blank slate. Everything that happened after that was an experience, an impression, a word, a thought, a touch that imprinted some sort of memory or learning in your mind. And so our subconscious and the superconscious within it is you know, to connect with our superconscious, our higher self, is to connect with this field of consciousness that we are. And it is an extraordinary and vast treasure trove of information from, when I tap in with Judah, I'm basically connecting to every lifetime that I've ever lived or ever will live, and all the wisdom and information and imprints of all of those experiences. So a lot of the job, though, I think, of spiritual growth for me is to find out what I've stored in there in a twisted or misshapen way because of fear or trauma or some sort of suffering, and I as a lie, basically, as an untruth. And like you said, Brian, your family or the people around you said he's too much, or he's too imaginative, there's something wrong, right? So that was like a lie that went into your unconscious mind. There's something wrong with me, right? When I'm imaginative, when I'm being the real me that I want to be, that's displeasing to people, and there's something wrong there. So a big part for me of spiritual work is looking at what's in the unconscious, in our field of consciousness, that's been stored with some sort of distortion or twist or lie in it, and take it out, look at it, clear it, and reinsert it in a different, with the truth, with, in a new way. Like one story I love to tell, my husband was helping a young woman who wasn't getting pregnant, and she was very healthy, and the doctors had checked her out, and there was just no reason why she shouldn't be getting pregnant, but she wasn't. And she came to Chuck, and Chuck was treating her and with acupuncture. And he said, honey, while you're on the table, I want you to think about what subconscious beliefs you might have that would be keeping you from getting pregnant. And, it came up from this field of consciousness. It came up, it'd been sublimated, right? We sublimate all kinds of memories and things that have happened to us. We don't need, it's kind of like Windows on your laptop. You only need one window to work in, but there's all kinds of caches of information in there. And you may not even remember what all's on your computer, but it's in there somewhere, right? She remembered when she was a little girl, like 3 or 4 years old, she'd wanted this particular doll for her birthday. She had her heart set on it like little girls do, and her mom bought her a doll, but it wasn't the one she wanted. It was the wrong thing, And she opened the present, saw the doll, it wasn't what she wanted, she kicked it. And her mom looked at her and said, well, now, honey, if that's the way you're going to treat your babies, how are you going to be a good mom? You can't be a good mom if you're going to kick your baby. And that one moment went into her subconscious mind as a lie. You're not a good mom. You can't be a good mom. And so that lie in her unconscious mind was instructing her body as a healthy, vibrant young woman who consciously really wanted a baby, but her unconscious mind was saying, no, you can't be a good mom. You don't deserve to be a mom. So the moment we cleared that, and Chuck was able to do it with acupuncture. We can do it many different ways. It's all about it's all about bringing it into awareness and just clearing the energy of it. She got pregnant right away.
I love that.
One thing that made me think of is I interviewed Greg Braden 2 days ago. And one of the things that Greg said was that our memories are not actually stored in our brain. They're stored in the field. And so it made me think that, like, is dementia, are all these brain diseases just a disconnection from the field? Lost your ability to connect with the field some way, shape, or form? I don't know. I was curious about that.
Don't you feel like that sometimes that dementia is perfect for that person? They're stuck in their past, and it's causing them to be stuck in their advancement forward, and slowly a larger part of them releases a lot of those memories, and the releasing of the memories is what they need to move to the next level. I've really felt that a lot when I'm encountering someone with dementia. It's like they need to forget. A larger part of them knows it's time to let that go for them to move. Because once you go into the unseen from this body, the first thing that you're going to have to deal with is all these memories, at least as I understand it, right? And it can be so debilitating that you just get thrown right back into the same loop over and over. So then that process, maybe it's like this next time they're going to have a fighting chance, they can move on and release that stuff, right? Does it feel like that sometimes?
Interesting. It's like a way to clear up karma that's like sustained.
Right. It's an automatic karma cleanser. They've been through it so many times, they need to forget so that when they move on, I don't know.
Hey, well, Brian and Angie, I actually got to jump, but I just wanted to say I love you both. This was amazing. And Angie, it's so cool to see you just light up. You know, I see Brian all the time, so Brian's my guy. But whenever I see you, just have this crazy energy, and it's so cool to observe. When you go to Judah, it really just like puts your vibration through the roof. It's spectacular.
It's so fun. It's such an honor and a joy. And I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. It's been super fun. Thank you, Kyle.
Is there anything that you have coming up that everyone here should know about?
Oh, at my place? Yeah, we've got a bunch of free things coming up. We have a free webinar on the 4 levels of mind. We have a free webinar on realizing enlightenment. So if enlightenment is a goal for you and you're not sure how to get there or where you are in the process, we can help you with that. Anything like that are events you can find inside the True University app or on our website, thejudahchannel.com. And we have a really sweet, we'd love to see you guys there. Yeah. Thank you for asking, Kyle. Appreciate it.
And Brian, is there anything we want to share or announce that we haven't put out there yet?
Oh, well, just we are getting close to selling out our event in Sedona. We have some tickets left. We have in Sedona in November, and we're getting close to selling out our event in Austin. We have the Large Sums of Money event in September. We have a link in the description. We're super excited about these. Every time we do one of these events, it becomes this whole brand new, entirely new thing, and it's been really one of the most amazing experiences to put these on. And we got some really cool new ones coming along that we haven't announced. It looks like we're going to be able to go to Denver. We're going to be able to go to Florida. It looks like we're going to we got Chula Vista coming up, and maybe so we're these are Mount Shasta is still something we're working on. So we're getting stuff lined up all the way through 2028, right? And then you got your school group, the Heart Coherence Collaborative. People can check that out.
Go to heartcoherencecollaborative.com/challenge and sign up for the Heart Coherence Challenge if you want to join us to do Heart Coherence for 21 days. If you can do it for 21 days, great. If you can do it for a few days, great. But we really want to send out a massive wave, so the more people that join us, the better it will be. We have Brian doing an opening ceremony meditation, which always is amazing. It's how I actually met him. He came on and rocked it for my group back in the day. Angie's going to be doing the channel panel. It's so much fun. Greg slipped in, and there's a lot going on. So.
Yeah, no. Every time you do your challenge, it's always amazing. It's gotten better and better. You've been doing that challenge for how long now? It's been like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, it's actually been, believe it or not, it's been like 10 years. And it's
10 years.
With 5 of my friends and I just was like, hey guys, I learned this thing. I'm going to send you one every day for 21 days. And they were like, whatever. Right. And I think like 1 or 2 of them did it. And we're like, dude, that was really amazing. And the other 2 didn't. But they were like, we need to do another one of those. And so we invited more friends. Yeah. And it became 50. And then, I met Leah. And it became like a real thing. And it's a long story, but it's just become beautiful. And we have a lot of support from amazing people.
Yeah, super excited.
Yeah, you guys get on board. Do the Heart Coherence. It's a game changer. Do it. Do it.
Do it. Sign up for come to Sedona. Well, actually, Sedona is going to be a really big party because I started my first retreat last year, and Brian then saw my retreat and he got, he was like, let's do another one. But my first retreat, a lot of the people there are kind of having like a mini reunion out in Sedona. So it's just going to be a crazy party. It's going to be the time. I'm excited for it. I'm not going to put too much excitement into it, but it's going to be phenomenal.
No, it's okay to put too much excitement into it. That's what
where's the rule on
that? In that future aligned self that Angie was talking about, it's just a state of pure excitement. It really is. It's state of this magnified excitement, right? So, all right.
Good. Everybody, we love you all. This is
love you. And welcome to the Reality Revolution. Thank you for everyone for joining.
Thank you guys. What a blessing.
Sleep meditation tonight at 8:00. Make sure to check it out. Talk to you later. Bye. Thank you. Hey, it's Brian Scott. So before you go, November 20th through the 22nd in Sedona at Bell Rock in the Vortex, 3 days of pineal gland activations, quantum jumping, future self merging. I'm using a special retrocausal technique where you merge with your future self based on real quantum physics that creates the most drastic and profound changes that you could ever imagine. The Earth is going to do half the work in the Vortex. Tickets are in the description. Space is very limited. You can go to the link, click the link, or go to www.brianscottlive.com/Sedona-2026. Sedona, Arizona, November 20th through the 22nd. There's early bird pricing available. There's discounts on rooms available. Get your ticket now. Click on the link now. I can't wait to see you there.